Okay, good morning. It is a new day. It is Saturday. It is the weekend for everyone, essentially, except many people work on Saturdays. But big storm went through here last night, early this morning, and is now moving up into the mountains. This is how it looks on the satellite, the radar, and it's a beauty. I mean, it really is awesome looking storm. You can see that. Well, I didn't want that, but you can kind of see, just you see all the texture. You see the clearing in behind this. Now, we got up to 2.5 inches of rain in parts of the North Bay. 1.5 inch in other places, 1/2 inch in other places. It's snowing to beat the band. There are over 2 feet of fresh snow in the last 12 hours up there, up around Lake Tahoe. There's no doubt today is going to be the nastiest travel day of the year if you're going to the Lake Tahoe area of the mountains. Listen, hot tip. I like to ski and snowboard, but I'm not really so frothy that I got to be on it, but I know a lot of you are. Tomorrow, oh my God, tomorrow morning is going to be best morning of the year. There'll be avalanche concerns, certainly, but they're going to have, well, I don't know, 3.5 feet of fresh over a couple of days here by the time we get to tomorrow morning. So tomorrow's going to be the primo ski day, Sunday. Monday, we've got another little system coming in. Okay, so let's take a look at the rainfall. This is some of the observed rainfall. And you can see, this is 24-hour. So, I know, sorry about the clutter. So, Petaluma, 0.2 of an inch of rain. Some anomalous behavior here out by Rohnert Park, but 2.3 inches. Napa, 2.5 inches of rain. Let's see what Mount Tam did, just because they're always just crushing it. Mount Tam looks like, 2.5 inches of rain, 3 inches of rain. Middle Peak, Mount Tam. San Francisco downtown, almost an inch of rain, which is a lot of water. When you get into these urban areas where there's a lot of concrete, an inch of rain is like a lot. It's like 4 inches of rain in Santa Rosa, because Santa Rosa's got ways to drain off. Okay, so more rain. You can see the showers really, it was pretty aggressive all the way down. Union City had an inch of rain, and it's still showery out there, and it will be today. We had thunderstorms this morning. We did have that tornado warning in San Francisco for a time this morning, and that was indicated by the radar. Radars do a thing where you can kind of see, it's Doppler radar, so you can kind of see a wind shift or a wind shear, a rotation, if you will, by a signature, a comma signature. And they picked that up this morning. So they issued a tornado warning. In the mountains, okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. We are at Donner Lake Road. They're moving there, westbound 80, Nevada 80, westbound. And yeah, they're moving. It's snowing though. Like when you can see the snow coming down on the cameras, it is snowing. And you know what? What better, truthfully, I mean, this is exactly what you want, is snow coming down in the mountains. The rain's awesome, but 2 and 3 inches of rain, a lot of that runs off, right? Which is good too for the fish and for the environment. But in the mountains, it's a savings account, man. That water, which is a lot, is going to live up there for the next 5 months, and it's going to slowly trickle down, and it's going to fill the reservoirs, and it helps to percolate into the groundwater, blah, blah, blah. Snow is everything in this state, and we're getting it to beat the band. That's Kingvale 80. Cars still moving there, but here's the thing. Most definitely, you are going to see chains going on and off all day today, and by tonight, it'll get a little better. Here's westbound 80 at Donner Lake Road. Look at that. Big flakes, too. I mean, it's coming down to how well you can see that. Okay, so what else we got? Another Caltrans? Let's do another transfer. This is, I think this is Gurley-Bakken, which I always say incorrectly. Granley-Bakken. Chain control, 25 mile an hour max speed. So I imagine there's chain controls all over. So this is right by the lake, right? This is kind of North Shore, North Lake Tahoe. And just kind of fun to be up there. I'm not the guy who has a place in Tahoe, but I get it. I totally get it. It'd be awesome. Okay, we're back home now, which is beautiful too. Sun's coming out a little bit. I just talked to Bill Hudson up at Sugar Bowl or at Palisades, and he goes, "It's going off. It's Nuking." And Billy grew up in the valley up there, and he's just like, "Yeah, they're predicting 5-8 inches of snow. Snow rates of 8 to 5 inches an hour. That's what they were predicting this morning. It is just now hitting that area. Let's take a peek real quick. I'll pull up the radar for you, and you can kind of see this is Radar Scope. This is like a pay-to-play app. I like it. It's got a few more features. I don't know if you need it. We have good apps. Like KTU has a good app on their website. Radars are important, man, because right now, let's say, okay, like I'm planning out my day, right? I'm in Berkeley, and I look at the radar and I go, well, wait a second, man. There's not much out coming, right? There's some stuff coming through, but if I don't golf, but if I was gonna get 9 holes in, I'd sneak it in. If I was in Livermore and it started to rain right now, I'd look at my app and I'd go, hey, you know what? In about 20 minutes, that thing's gone, and I'm playing golf or I'm running on the track or whatever you're doing. So these radars, I use them a lot for it's analysis essentially. And so it's not model stuff. So this is where it's raining. This is the way it's moving. You can estimate how fast it's moving. That's over a couple of hours there. So it's moving, I always give it about 24, 25 miles an hour for a cell. It varies. It goes faster, it goes slower. So you can dodge raindrops, and you can today. Today I'm going for a ride for sure this afternoon. And that won't happen on the west slope. The west slope's a little different. These are the windmills out by Rio Vista. They pick up the turbulence, and they actually, they generate reflectivity on the radar. And then up in the mountains, you can see it's just getting trapped up there. We can check out the Reno radar. Let's see if I got that up. Reno, there's Rex. Okay, and then that's coming out. That's because this is coming from the east side of the hill. So it's up. And what do you got here? You got like a little tornado indicator. So you got some kind of severe weather being indicated. And perhaps they're picking up, I'm not sure if that is a tornado. I think that's a potential signature. Let me stop it down here. It might be a potential signature of a tornado there. Let's see what it says. It's not saying for me. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. But that would make sense because that's that area of instability. Oh, well. We will keep an eye on that. That would be an unusual, by the way. That's most likely is indicating, obviously, you're not going to see a tornado in that kind of terrain. Not easily, because tornadoes are funny, right? You need, not funny, but to get a tornado, you need a lot of flat, kind of smooth flow into the funnel and overhead. When you're in the mountains, you get turbulence. And so a tornado, to get that formation would be really difficult in terrain. That's why you see them more out by Sutter Buttes, up by Red Bluff, kind of in those little flat land areas between the hills. But in the hills, I've seen them in Sebastopol, tornadoes that is. Long time ago, I actually saw one in Sebastopol. Okay, so we'll talk about that another time. Here is the model. So this is planning out this afternoon. So this is the GFS. I got a little sore throat right now. It's kind of weird. I mean, I'm not sick, but I went to a party last night and I can't hear. And so I think I speak louder. I mean, I can hear, but I can't hear. I have little hearing aids, which are kind of awesome, kind of not. But because it makes you hear everything really loud. But I just kind of wore myself out trying to hear, which is, that's nice. Anyway, some surfing. Literally, you guys know, if you're my age and you've been surfing and windsurfing too, the bone growth grows over the inner ear, or is it the outer ear? I think it's the inner ear. And it's just like cauliflower, and it grows together in these little pinhole openings. So I don't have a range of hearing that's very good. Okay, so this is the right now, essentially. This is, I got a circle around us, and then right there. So that's this afternoon, right? And everything's up in the mountains. And you see how it hangs in the mountains, still up, and that's late this afternoon. See the mountains still going off. That's this evening, and then that is late tonight, right there. So yeah, and then look what happens. Sunday, hello, check it out. Nice, not even that windy. Sunday's gonna be nice. But if you're gonna think about going surfing or something, just give it a break. It's kind of gnarly. We'll look at that in a minute. Here's a potential Monday event, and then we'll slide through. Again, by the way, I'll go back up to this Monday. Is that a game changer for you? It doesn't look like it right now. I think you just do what you do and dodge raindrops, light raindrops. And then here comes this. I think this is like the 21st of December. And that's got a little game there. So you're getting into Christmas and such. Okay, so the surf, you're like, well, it's 15 to 18 foot. It doesn't look that big. It's because it's windy. It's gale warning offshore, storm warnings offshore. The winds are blowing about as dangerous as this ocean can ever get. But it's huge. It's just what happens is the waves don't look huge because the wind's blowing slightly on shore and it pushes them on top of each other. So it's just like almost like a little bit like a storm surge out of a hurricane. So everything just gets bunched together. Instead of when the wind's light or blowing offshore, the waves come in, the wind blows and it cleans up the wave and jacks it up. So big days, you're not going to see guys surfing this stuff. We used to try, but you can't. So that's Ocean Beach. This is Mavericks. And again, it should be breaking if the tide's right and everything, but the winds are howling out there. And you can just see, so yeah, it's huge. And it's so funny because in the news business, like they go, hey, Bill, I hear there's a high surf advisory, which there is. Which beach do we go to? I go, you don't really want to go to a beach. It's not, because everybody's expecting that Maverick shot, right? Or the big, huge wave with somebody surfing it. It's going to look like this. It just looks like Lake Tahoe with a bunch of wind on it, right? I mean, it's obviously more gnarly than that, but you get the idea. And then this is Steamer's Lane. which is absolutely gnarly. And, it cleans up a little bit, but you're not going to see anybody out there. Oh, the other thing that's interesting too, and I think I'm right on this. I seem to remember this, that when it gets real windy like this, you notice how the birds are flying around. I always thought, well, yeah, they're kind of feeding or whatever, and they might be. I'm not an ornithologist. I think that's the right thing. But they fly around when it's real windy because it's easier than sitting around. Do you ever notice when you go by a schoolyard and they're all sitting on the grass in the middle? They find a place, they get together and they find a place where they can kind of bear down, because sitting on the ground when it's gusty, they get blown over. But when they're flying, they just stick their wings out, and it's not much of an effort for them to stay not only afloat, but for them to stay safe, because they can just, right? They're streamlined. But when they're sitting like this big brick sitting in the middle of the lawn, but if they surround themselves with each other, so whenever you ever see that, I'm sure you have a golf course or something, it's real windy. You probably see it somewhere today. You'll see that on the bay. You'll see a bunch of birds kind of flock somewhere. I think a little bit of it is blocking the wind with each other, but I think a lot of it is they found a spot that they can sit without getting too much turbulence. Okay, and if you're a bird person, which I kind of am, just enough to be dangerous, let me know about that, because I think there's something to that, and that's why you see the birds flying around, because it's just a hell of a lot easier for them to fly around than it is to sit on the pier and try to stay steady. All right, that's it. Let's take a last look at the satellite image and have a great day. I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. I keep saying that, but I know when there's weather we should talk. This is the system moving into the mountains. So the mountains are going to be gnarly pretty much overnight. Winter storm warning stays in effect. And that's it. Thanks for hanging in. Hope it wasn't too long. Have a great day.